Hello and welcome to Scrapbooking Station. In this video I'm creating a summer theme layout from scratch. We'll talk about some paper piecing, and I've got this great little geometric that you can use not only as an embellishment on your pages but also if you make cards. So I'm going to put the camera over my shoulder and we'll get started. Okay, so to begin with, what I'm going to scrapbook is like a putt-putt competition that I had with my brothers when I was in New Jersey and my daughters. So we've got this little putt-putt theme going on. Rather than focus so much on color, I tried to stick with simple patterns because putt-putt's kind of a silly game. And so this collection is called Summer Fun. It comes from Paper Wishes, so those are going to be the patterns that I get to choose from. So I've got some basic polka dots, circles, little checkerboard there. And I want to pair it up with some solid cardstock. And so I've got the navy. It's kind of hard for me to pair up that yellow, so I'm going to go with a neutral white. And then I'm going to add a metallic gold. So I've got my solids, I've got my patterns, and I'm going to make a 2-page spread because after this was over, we have a little ice cream thing going on. So let me move some of this out of the way and look at some of the basic elements of this page. Now the first thing I've decided on is that I'm going to use polka dot pattern paper, this bright yellow polka dot pattern paper for the backdrop. And the other thing I decided, I want to put some bookends around both these pages. And so I want a stripe. And I've got this stripe, but it's got this red in it. And I don't want the red. Rather than piece together totally from scratch, what I'm going to do is take a stripe of these blue polka dots, or strip. So I'm going to cut a strip, more or less kind of centering the polka dot. And same thing with this checker. And then I'm going to alternate and cut covering the red. So I'm going to have a blue polka dot or a white polka dot with the blue, then the yellow check, and then on and on and on and on. And since I'm creating bookends, I want to do that for a piece large enough so that my bookends can be created from the same one. I don't want to go ahead and create a border, do it one time, and then create another border and have to piece another one. So let's take a look at that because I've already done it. And I've already cut it. So rather than just cut a strip border, what I've done is I made this piece, again, all at once because it's just a lot easier. So I kind of centered the white dots and then centered my little checkerboard. Then I'm going to divide this out. So on my right side page, this is going to be the right side border. And on the left side page, it's going to go like this. While I'm at it, I'm going to add another element. So I want to add scallops. So I just use a scallop punch. So that's going to kind of go under there like this. And of course the same thing I want to do on the opposite side. So I've got that. And then lastly, I want to introduce some gold at this point. So let me get my borders up. I'm going to go ahead and mat the photos and then I'll be back. So I've made it significantly farther than just putting the borders up. I went ahead and matted and arranged everything. Excuse me. And this layout looks really good. There's balance, so again the bookends, I've got my gold, added some titles, went ahead and stamped, and that comes from Stamping Up. It's the collection brushwork alphabet, so I've got some of that in there, and of course mat and layers. And like I said, you could finish at this point, but here's the rub, and I always call it gravy. And yeah, there's a couple tags, but if I were to send you these pictures and this paper pack, you'd probably send me something like this. So creatively, there's really nothing about me on this layout. So that's what I want to introduce now. Like I said, I typically call it gravy, but it's something that I'm working on or that I'm doing creatively that I wanted to add to this layout. So I want to look at these pinwheels. Let me move this out of the way a little bit because these are embellishments I want to add. I'm going to do a quick demo and then I'm going to put these on the page and be back. Okay, for this demonstration, I'm going to use larger squares. And what you need is 4 squares in one pattern and then 4 in a complementary pattern. And they all need to be the same size. Now I'm going to use a 2-inch square, just so that it's easier to see. We want to work around a perpendicular center point. And so what we're going to be doing is laying down the first square like this. The next pattern goes on point. Then you keep going around the circle. So I'm going clockwise. It's going to go like this, and then like this, and so on. And then the last piece has to be tucked under and over. Let me just show you how I go about doing this. So I'm going to position this here. It doesn't have to be all that persnickety. Put some glue down. Then I'm going to grab just a little bit for the point so that sticks. And I'm putting it end to end using this line. So I'm going to stick it. Now, the next piece, I can leave it just like this. So again, I'm going to put a little glue here. Kind of grab that point and then situate it like so. Now the next piece, what I'm going to do is turn this around. Of course, you want to let your glue set a little bit. I'm trying to move a little bit quicker, and that was a mistake. Okay, so I've got it something like this. I want to set this one on the perpendicular, so I'm using my squares. And then again, just pick up a little glue. I'm going to raise that up a little bit. And go like this. I'm going to keep going around till I get to here. So I've got all the way around. Notice that when I put this together, I want to be, split it up a little bit. Like I said, you don't have to be all that exact because you're going to do something with the center anyway. And this last piece, kind of set it up the same way. Now, it's got to go under here. So, again, kind of the over and under. Line up your point. And that's your finished piece. And then you're just going to want to pop that in the center. Now, notice that your 2-inch squares, well, first off, you know you're going to have at least 4 inches, but you can count on another inch. And I'm just going to leave you a little scale because I did a block using 1-inch squares, 1¼ inch squares, and 1½ with these. Okay, let me get these on the Summer Fun layout, and I'll be back. So I've added my geometric shapes, so I've got them on both these corners, kind of overlapping into the main portion of the layout and the borders. And as I said before, the layout really didn't need it. So not only now do I have my memory, so I've got my photographs, I've got my journaling, but I've also got something that was creatively going on when I scrapbooked this page. So kind of something that only I know about. And just a little more on this geometric shape. I saw this on a hour of Create and Craft. Don Wheeler actually demonstrated how to do this, and I thought, what a great filler. So this is my thank you card for Mother's Day. So this was actually the initiation of all this. And then I thought, how about a couple Christmas cards that are kind of seasonal, but not, Merry Christmas. So if you've got friends that celebrate the season, these are actually going to my mother. So nice, neutral, kind of geometric, dolled up the patterns a little bit and the papers. Now, I want to talk a little bit more about this whole little gravy thing and personalizing your scrapbook pages. So this part is going to be kind of fun because first off, these are layouts that I did during National Scrapbooking Day, which was just a couple of weeks ago. But you'd be surprised how many times I throw these sort of little personal things into here. And so this is a walkabout layout. And again, there's a couple things that weren't necessary. The first is these are covered with acetate, and the acetate's been embossed. So that's a technique that I've been wanting to try ever since I made this backdrop. And this backdrop, if you've been with me a while, this comes from ribbon piecing. And so this was going to be part of acetate 3, which has never really happened. But really, it's about this grommet. I didn't know how to use grommets. And so when I made this layout, that's another thing that I wanted to do. Of course, 2 pages, added more of these embossed fairies on here, and then some little glitter. Anyway, so that is my personal touch. And then I've got one more layout. So on this first page, so this would be the left-hand page, nothing new. I've done all this before. So I've got envelope stuff coming out, got a couple dazzles, cut into the paper, borders, pieced it together. But this is about hot foiling, and hot foiling's a new toy for me. And so what I did on the companion is add my hot foil elements. And so instead of just having another strip border here, all I've done is taken these, and what you probably don't know, and if you looked really close, most of these are tried and failed attempts. So I know it, you don't know it. Like I said, if you watch my scrapbooking videos, there's usually something. I'm probably not going to go into it anymore about my failures and tests, but it's always kind of fun. So like I said, look back and you see your memories, you have your journaling, but you've also got some creative elements that only you know about. Anyway, I hope you took something with you can use in your own scrapbooking, and I thank you for watching.